Hello everybody. I wanted to film my first YouTube video. I ran the London Marathon this year in April and it was the first marathon that I'd ever run. When I signed up to the marathon I couldn't actually run 5k without stopping, and when I looked online for kind of advice from people that had done a similar thing, it was quite difficult to find anyone that had also signed up without being able to run. Everywhere I looked, most people kind of had a base level of fitness, and that was worrying. But I knew that no matter what, I was going to give myself a year and just do the best I could and make sure that it happened. So I thought it'd be useful because the London Marathon ballot results get released next week, and a lot of people are going to be getting places in the marathon who, like me, had never run before. So here's some of the things that I did with very little experience that helped me, that may or may not be helpful to some of you. I joined a running group. Before I joined a running group, I kind of felt that running groups were for people who were really advanced, and that if I joined a club I would probably slow everybody down. So I was a bit put off by the whole idea. But I joined a new running group in my local town, and they'd only been going a few months I think when I joined up with them, and I was just really amazed by how supportive everyone was. I really felt like I was part of that running community. Everyone was really encouraging. I didn't slow anyone down. They were just a great group to be part of, and I think most running groups, I know friends that are part of like actual athletic groups who are the same, you know, they've got people of all running abilities. So I will say, just don't be put off by running groups and think that it's for people who are really advanced runners. There are people of all levels, so if you're a really advanced runner, go for it, but if you're a beginner like me, then go for it as well. Somebody in my running group was also running the London Marathons. It was really nice because we were both running for charity, so we were able to share advice and give each other tips of fundraising and training, and that was really nice. So you might find that there are other people in your running group, well, more than likely be other people in your running group that are doing either London or Brighton, Manchester, so it's nice to kind of be part of that circle. So the second thing I would say that's really important is route planning. There's a few points in this point that I'd like to raise, things that I learnt whilst I was training. When I first started running, I was running with friends. I didn't actually go out running on my own. I was just nervous about cars beeping and friends seeing me, and I just hated the whole idea of it. But one day my friend didn't turn up, she overslept, and I was already out, so I thought, right, I'm going to just do it. And about half a kilometre into the run, I thought to myself, how have I never done this before? This is great, I can go at my own pace, I'm not slowing anybody down, I can go wherever I want to go. I felt so independent, and it was such a great feeling. What I did was, the first route I kind of did on my own was a route that I'd driven quite a lot, so I was familiar with, and I knew that there was a good kind of pathway, so it was a safe area to run early in the morning or late at night. It was a 5k route, but actually that route became an 18-mile route. I ran that route pretty much every time I went out, and what was great about it is that you could easily add extensions. So I could add one housing estate and that would be an extra mile, or another housing estate and that would be an extra 3 miles. And it was good because no matter how far I went out, I kind of knew my way back, so I was never going to get lost. I think when you're doing new routes that you've never done before, that adds a bit of stress, because if you get lost or you're unsure of where you're going, then I don't know, it just puts you off and it throws everything out. So I would say plan your route, one that you can stick to, one that you can add to, and one that you can just feel comfortable with when you're running. But another thing to do is always plan your routes. If you know that you've got to do kind of a 14-mile run, map out where that run is before you go. There were times for me when I would be running a long run, and in my head I had kind of a mile to go, but actually the route that I was running in my head that was a mile turned out to be kind of half a kilometre. So I would be running around in circles trying to make up the distance, and again, that's stressful when you've done a long run and you just want to get home. So always route map. Treat yourself. I think this is difficult because running, as weird as it sounds, can be quite expensive, and I think when you're training, you need, especially during the winter, you need reliable clothing, you need reliable shoes, you need warmth, you need lights, you need everything, and that can add up. But every time I did treat myself to something, I was more inclined to go out and wear it because I was excited about the fact that I had something new to wear. So I think it does motivate you as well. And you don't necessarily have to have New Balance this or Nike that, you know, it can be anything, it could be any brand as long as it's reliable. I think Sports Direct and places like that are really good. Decathlon for cheap clothing that's going to get you through. Another point that I'd like to raise is trialling things out for the first time. So I tried out some energy gels for the first time on a 16-mile route, which was a big error. I didn't get along with energy gels, and I was midway through a big run and they just didn't sit well with me. So if you're going to try something like energy gels or a new pair of shoes, I'd say always try them on a 10k run or less, because you don't want to be kind of really far out like I was and struggling to get back. So definitely try things on short runs. I read a lot when I was training. I found that books really helped me. My mum bought me a few running books of stories of people similar to me who had kind of changed their lifestyle and got into running, and those books were really motivational. I'll actually read out which ones they were. I think these ones are kind of more for females, but males may enjoy them too. So the first one I read, which was amazing, was called Running Like a Girl by Alexandra Hemmensley, and I read this book on the train to work and I was crying on the train to work. It was so empowering, it was so relatable, and it was just a true story about somebody training for the marathon and doing it. So I'd say definitely buy that book. I loved it, and I've passed it around to other running friends who are getting into running as well, because I just want more and more people to read it. Another really good book similar to this one is called Your Pace or Mine by Lisa Jackson. It's actually here. It's such a good book, and it's got stories in it from friends that she met along the way who also got into running, and running helped them with family bereavements, with weight loss, with overcoming illnesses. Like, it's so amazing. So definitely read that book. And another one, which is also down here actually, is called Don't Stop Me Now by Vassos Alexander. I think this book might be signed actually. Yes, we got it signed at the London Marathon Expo, which was pretty cool. Yeah, this is a really good book as well. This is written by a man, so they're not all female books. Yeah, I really recommend this book as well. So get some reading material and just kind of really tune in to everything marathon related. It really did help me, and hopefully it will help you as well. Strava. I love Strava. There are other apps as well, like Runkeeper, and I can't think of any others, but there are other apps that are really good for this. But I think Strava has the best online running community. What it is, if you're not familiar, is you track your run either using one of these watches or from your phone. When you're out running, it will map your route and then upload it, kind of like a social media network for runners. And people can give you kudos, which is basically a like, or they can comment. So when you see, I follow loads of people from my local park run on there, I follow people from my running group, I follow some athletes and just friends that dip in and out of running, and it's really nice because it motivates you when you want to go out, because if you see that other people that you know have been out for a run that day, then you think, what's stopping me? So yeah, Strava is really good. Also, what's really good about it as well is when you're running, like a route that you ran before. If you run it faster than you ran it before, Strava will tell you that it's the fastest time you've ever done that route. So that's really good as well. It helps to kind of keep you going. Park run. Oh, I love park run. I've done 2 park runs. I've done my local park run, which I do most Saturdays. I didn't do it today because, in case you can't tell, I've got a horrible cold. But I do run park run most weeks in my local town. I did the Edinburgh one because I was up in Edinburgh for the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and although I didn't know anybody, I felt like I was just a member of that park run. Everyone was really welcoming. They spoke to you like you went every week, like they knew you already. It was so nice. I have met so many friends at park run. This year, after the marathon, I got an injury in my knee and I wasn't able to run for 4 months, which was really difficult. But when I went back recently, all my friends that I kind of see there every week it was like no time of being. They were so nice and supportive. If you're not familiar with what parkrun is, how you're not familiar with what parkrun is, first of all, but parkrun is, they're all over the UK, so if you go on their website, it will show you where the nearest one is to you, and you turn up, they give you a barcode, you run 5k, usually it's on a Saturday morning, and at the end they scan your barcode and then email you your time. So you're only ever really competing with yourself, because every week you can try and better your time. And sometimes they'll do things like they'll add paces on, so if you want to run 27 minutes, then you can follow the 27-minute pacer. It's just really good. It's a really nice running community. Everyone there is a volunteer. There's online Facebook groups, so sometimes they'll take pictures of you when you're running, and that's nice because you can upload it to your Instagram. And yeah, I really recommend parkrun. I absolutely love parkrun. So point number 8 is planning. I was quite lucky because where I worked at the time, they offered a sort of a personal development scheme, so I was able to use some of that money towards a personal trainer, and he wrote out all of my training plans for me. So I didn't necessarily stick to them, but it was just useful to have them there. I think when you're fitting it around a full-time job like I did, it's really difficult to kind of stick to it sometimes, especially because I was working in London. Like, I was sort of getting up really early in the mornings, and sometimes I was going out at 5 in the morning, sometimes before 5. I actually went out before 5 one day. That was horrific. And then sometimes I was kind of running late at night, and if I had a long run to do, I'd be out until 11 o'clock at night, and that was also horrible. So it is quite difficult to kind of fit it in around work and around life. There's no getting away from that, unfortunately. But having a plan to stick to, whether or not you stick to it, you've kind of got some kind of guidelines that you should kind of keep within, of what distance you should be doing, what pace you should be doing, and how frequently you should be going out. So whether or not you are able to find somebody that can help you with that, I went with a guy named Reese from Rep Fitness in Ashford. I think he charged about £20 a session, and we would do kind of speed sessions and endurance sessions, and that was really good. He wrote my plans for me, he wrote my nutrition plans for me, and he became a good friend as well through doing that. It was really nice to have somebody supporting you the whole way through. So if you can do that, then great. But also there are lots of online blogs and networks and forums that can help you with a plan. So have a look online and just write one out and try and stick to it as best you can. So point number 9 is to get involved. I got so involved. I just made marathon training and marathon fundraising my life for an entire year. I didn't really have a social life other than running, so all of my friends were friends that I met through running, or my friends that were supporting me would come and see me at fundraising events that I was organising, and I'm so grateful that they were so patient with me, because I had to just put my social life to the side for a bit. It was difficult, you know. My fiance barely ever saw me as well, because I was just always running and training, but luckily if you've got a good support network around you, then they'll let you do your thing. But what is really good is just to get involved and make it your life. So the London Marathon do organise events throughout the year. So they did an event in February this year where you go along. There were lots of talks from inspiring people, talks about training, about injuries, about nutrition. It was just really interesting. You got a good goodie bag as well, lots of freebies, so that was really good. There's a really cool shop there. I bought a t-shirt. So yeah, there's events like that, and then also there is a London Marathon Expo, and if you're running for a charity they may organise events for you as well. So some charities like their runners to kind of meet before the actual day, and they'll do kind of a fun day with you, or they might show you around. If you're running for like a hospice, they might do a day with you where they show you around the hospice to kind of remind you while you're fundraising. So just get involved with all of that. But another thing that I did was I started up my own Instagram account, especially for running, because I didn't want anyone that followed me on my personal Instagram to get fed up with all the running posts that I was going to be posting, but also I wanted to kind of have somewhere that I could look back and see my progress, and somewhere I could document everything I was doing. So I gave people the choice if they wanted to follow me on my running account, and they could. So I followed lots of people that were running the Brighton Marathon or the London Marathon, and it was just a really nice online community. We would like each other's posts, we would share advice, and it was really nice actually. And I still keep in touch with lots of people that I've met online. On the day, the London Marathon day, I actually met somebody that we followed each other on Instagram, and we started the London Marathon together, so that was really nice. So I made a friend from Instagram that I met in person. So yeah, like follow people on Instagram, on Facebook, and just get involved with everything about that. Just make it your life, because it will really help to have a whole support network of people in the same community around you, and it helps to remind you of what you're doing and why you're doing it. If you are running for charity, then I'd say try and enjoy your fundraising as well. Like I said, I made my fundraising, that was my social life really, and I had to do that because I had a big target that I needed to hit, and I just really got involved with it. I tried to really make it fun. I didn't want everyone that was donating to me just to feel like they had to give me one donation. You know, I think it's quite difficult to say, oh, go online and sponsor me X amount. I think what I wanted to do was do more actual events. So I did bake sales, I did pub quizzes, I did a music gig, and it was just easier for people then because they felt that they were part of that. It brought together friends that hadn't seen each other in ages. It brought together family that hadn't seen each other in ages. It was really nice, just everyone coming together to support the cause that you're really passionate about. And another thing that I did with another friend that was running the London Marathon was we were both running for charity, and we organised a lot of events together. So it meant that there was a bit more footfall because we were both bringing people in, therefore we raised more money, and then whatever we raised on the night we split between the two of us, the two charities. We actually did a lot of boot fairs as well, so I'll do a fundraising video at some point if this video goes down well, but we did organise some boot fairs where we both just kind of got rid of loads of stuff. Some people gave us stuff that they didn't want, and again we split that between the two charities, so that was really nice. Hopefully that's been helpful to you. If you have got a place in the ballot, then well done. If you haven't got a place in the ballot and you really want to run and you've not done anything big for charity before, then I highly recommend running for a charity. I don't know whether I would have been able to be as motivated if I wasn't running for charity, to be honest. I think that really kept me going. Yes, it adds a lot of pressure, but it's just really nice to kind of be part of that, and on the day to have an extra support team around you is really nice. So yeah, if you haven't got a place in the ballot, definitely I really do recommend going for a charity. I would say try and make it something that you're passionate about. So if there is a charity that you support anyway, then maybe sign up with them, or if there's a cause that you would like to be part of, then go with that. I think that helps. But yeah, so thank you for watching my video. This is my very first YouTube video. I would like to make more, so please subscribe, hit like. If you have any advice on my video techniques, I think I'd be more than interested in hearing your comments. And yeah, thank you very much, and hopefully see you soon.